Alright peoples, the Polo's back in town. Dad's visiting us for the weekend. As I mentioned in another video, my dad's decided this is a pretty good car to beat up and down the coast in. 4 to 5 litres per 100, cost him about a quarter of what it does in his car. So he's up and down the coast quite a bit. And so this is a better option for him. Cheap second car, pays for itself in about a week. Not really, but almost. It does have a bit of a problem though that we've worked out. The front right hand side bulb blew. And we had it replaced, we replaced it, and now it's blowing fuses. So we had a look, we worked out what's going on, so I thought I'd show you. It's a bit easier to see on this side, the other side's worse. But what's happened is, if we look in here, you can see that's the cradle for the light, or the lighting loom. The wiring there has cooked itself in the heat of the headlight, turned brittle, and cracked off. And so what's happened on this side, when we went to replace the light, see if I can get a look in here. There you go, you can have an idea of just how bad it is. We replaced the light, it's cracked off all the insulation on the wire, and now you have just exposed copper there. Manipulated a bit, they contact and blow the fuse. When I looked at it, they were actually twisted into each other, and so no chance of avoiding a blown fuse. So we're going to get stuck into that. Haven't decided whether we're going to do a quick fix or a proper fix yet, but that's what's going on. Alright, so we've had a chat about this, and what we're going to do is a quick, cheap and dirty fix on this right now, because we believe to do it properly we're going to have to take the front bumper off and take the headlights out, which is something we should probably do anyway at some point. I want to revive the headlights, and we could do it in place, but given we're going to do that, then we could take it all out and do it all in one big job. So we're going to do a quick and dirty job on these right now, just so that they work again, and at least if it does blow again we know why. And then when we've got a bit more time, we'll pull them apart and do them properly. So they're pretty tight in here. What we're going to do, we're just going to wrap them in electrical tape, but we can't really get the tape in and out to wrap it around, so we're actually going to do it lengthways and stick 2 bits of tape together. That should be enough to get us through for a while. Once it's in place, they shouldn't move too much, and it'll probably last for a really long time, but we don't want to leave it that way forever. We will do a proper fix later. And yeah, just a top tip for your tape here. If it's old, or it's getting brittle, or it's not so sticky, 20 seconds in the microwave will soften the glue up for you, make it nice and malleable and sticky again. So we're going to use white, easy to see, easy to remember, and it's also all I had. So there we go, I'll show you when it's done. So I'll just show you quickly how we're starting here. As I said, access is difficult, so just put a backing piece there. I'm going to put another piece straight over the top of that. I'll do the same on the other wire, and then I'll wrap both wires together. It's about the only way we can do it with the kind of access we have. This is the easier side, so you can see what we're doing. I'll get this one done, and then we'll try on the other side as well. Okay, there's the first wire done. I'm going to do the second wire on this side. It'll do the same, and then I'll wrap them both together. There we go, we've got tape over both wires individually now. Make sure it's all stuck down nice, and then we'll wrap them as well. Well, there we go, as I said, quick and dirty, not attractive at all, but the 2 wires are now covered, apart from out there on the crimping area, and their tape is also stuck in a way that it keeps them permanently separated as well. So, we'll do the same on the other side. It's going to be a bit of a punish over that side, but we'll get it done, and then we'll put them in and give them a test. There you go, if your headlight bulbs start fusing out, that's definitely something to look at. The wires on the back of the headlight looms, they do suffer a lot of heat, and so they can get brittle, and they could short out on their own, but if you've just changed a bulb and started blowing fuse, that would be the first place I'd look. Just a quick tip when you're working with bulbs, most of you probably already know that you can't touch the glass of the bulb with your fingers. Hello. The grease on your fingers will get on the bulb, leave a bit of a fingerprint, and that will cause the bulb to fail prematurely. So we've got this other one in here now, It looks super ugly, but as I say, this isn't a fix. Please don't yell at me. This is just a way to get it working again until you've got the time to do it properly. And now we're going to do a test. Right. Look at that, 2 lights. Alright, home we go. Well, whilst we're here, I want to do something quickly about these foggy headlights. Now that we have headlights that work, it'd be good if they could actually shine out. There's a few different things you can do for a cheap, dirty fix. There's a lot of things out there on the internet. One that I found that works really well is a high DEET bug spray. The DEET in the bug spray can help get the cloudiness off. But basically, you can just treat them like your paintwork. So I don't have any DEET bug spray at the moment. What I'm going to use is just this scratch remover. Where are we? There we go. This is just something I found in my cupboard, and I'll give it a go. Get my sidekick here to hold it for me. See what happens. The good thing about this is no risk of hurting your paint or anything. And stuff like this, the DEET one you'd have to keep adding. Good thing about a scratch remover is it will actually improve the surface of the light, but it also, this isn't by any means a restoration. This is just something to make it a little bit better. I'm going to do a proper restoration on these later. You can buy those restoration kits out there, but they're like $20 or $30 a piece in the States. Here in Australia they're more like 60 or 70, and all they really are is a bit of wet dry sandpaper and some polish, and then a top coat, which if you're willing to put the effort in and mask off the light, then you can just do that with some clear. So you get them looking good, clear them over, and then they'll last as long as your paint. So this is just a quick, as you can see, about a 2-minute go with some scratch remover. As I say, it's not going to be perfect, but will go a long way at helping. So we could do another round on it. I won't bore you with it. Just that's what about a minute does. If you look at the other side. If you look at the other side, you can see still pretty cloudy there. I'll give these another go and then I'll get back to you. Well, there we are, 5 minutes each side with a decent swirl and scratch remover, and it's a heck of a difference. I say it's not perfect. If you get up close, you'll see there's still a lot of imperfections in there, and that's something you could improve on. It also isn't completely permanent. It has taken a lot of the oxidation away, but the underlying damage is still there, so that'll slowly come back. It's something you could just reapply every few weeks, just like you would maintain your paint. Wash the paint, polish the paint, polish your headlights. It'll be enough for most of you. Or as I say, later on, when it starts to come back, we'll do a more permanent fix as well. Break time. So I just wanted to show you another problem that's going on with the Polo. It's a pretty common problem, especially in older cars, and that is that the heat and air conditioning fan only blows on high. Just like that. Now I don't want to do a Polo specific one, I just want to tell you a little bit about what's going on here. So the fans, they run on a resistor, and a resistor full power gives you the high speed and then it resists it down to lower speeds. And so those resistors, they generate a bit of heat, and over time they can cook themselves. So the easiest fix to this, usually 99% of the time, it's the resistor needs replacing. Dealership could cost you hundreds of dollars. The part itself could be well over $100, and then an hour or two of labor they'd love to charge you. So, but it's actually a really cheap fix. So I've gone and ordered the replacement one here. You can see in there is where it would cook itself, in amongst all that resistor packing there. And I'm just going to replace it myself. Most cars, it'll be behind the glove box and usually in the heater box or some part of the ventilation ducting, and the reason is they use the ventilation to keep the resistors cool. So I'm going to pull the glove box out. I know for a fact it's behind the glove box in this car. In cars with rear air conditioning there might be one in the back as well, so look it up for your car. It is actually quite an easy fix, anyone can do it. You just, for this car specifically, we pull the glove box out and it's just back in there in the heater box. So I'm going to do that. Alright, so here we go. I've removed the glove box. It was just like that. Had to unscrew and unclip this panel, 3 screws down here, 3 screws up the top of the glove box, and then it just comes out as one piece. Now this is just some insulation back here. You can lift that up and there's our heater box and fan box in there, blower box, depending on what you like to call it. And up in there is where the resistor is. I'm just going to turn the light on for you, hang on. So I'm just going to remove that wiring loom, untwist the resistor, pull it out, put the new one in, clip it back in, and then put it all back together, and hopefully that'll be one job jobbed. Well, there we are, we got the old one out. As you can see, not in the greatest condition, very swollen. You can see the packaging starting to fail, and I'm sure there's some kind of major short in there somewhere where the resistor itself is blown, whatever. Anyway, nice new shiny one. Put that in. Alright, just quickly before we put everything back together, proof is in the pudding.
I worry about having all your weight on here.
Yep, we've got low, medium, number 3,
And
number 4, good to go. Alright, so I'm going to put it all back together. I've just got it plugged in right now to test it. But now I know that it works, I'll put the effort in putting it all back together and we'll be done. Alright, so everything over there is back together. Double check we didn't screw anything up whilst we were doing it. Yep, I can hear it. AC light came on, that's a good sign. There we go. There we go, winner.